Hello everyone, Sister Josephine is here with you to deal with class 9 and 10 English 2 Merchant of Venice Act 1 Scene 1 Part 4, the last portion of this Scene 1. So in the previous classes we had seen about how Antonio was requesting to Bassanio to give him a loan. Okay, so he asked, what do you want? Tell me exactly. So here is the continuation of that part. Now Bassanio speaks. In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair and fairer than the word of wondrous virtues. He means that in Belmont there is a lady who has inherited so much of wealth left behind alone after her father. She is beautiful. Of course, she is fair means she is beautiful and has great virtues. More than that, she is full of good virtues. Virtues means good qualities. She has lot of good qualities. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. Sometimes from her eyes, when I came in contact with her, I have received I have received some messages that I can see that message of love from her eyes. That's what he means here. Her name is Portia. And who is this lady who is left in Belmont? She is Portia. So this lady is no other than this Portia. Nothing undervalued to Cato's daughter Brutus Portia. Now here is a reference to some other Portia. This Brutus Portia is a different person. This Brutus Portia is the daughter of Cato. Cato, now we know, now this Cato now is the father-in-law of Brutus. Okay. Now Brutus' wife is Portia. Portia is the daughter of Cato. Now who is this Brutus? Let us know. We might have seen in the beginning sessions I had told you about the plays of Shakespeare, where in one particular thing we came across was Julius Caesar. You might have also heard about it. In Julius Caesar is a very famous play. In that particular play, this Brutus plays an important role. He is one of the friend of Julius, and his wife is Portia, and this lady also is a very beautiful lady in that particular play. She is a beautiful lady in that particular play, and she was the daughter of Cato. Now here Bassanio is telling that even in Julius Caesar's, the wife of Portia, the wife of Brutus, was also beautiful, but this particular Portia is not less than her. This is also equally beautiful as this wife of Brutus, this Portia. So it's a comparison between the beauty of this Portia and this Belmont Portia. That is the thing. Next. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth, for the four winds blow in from every coast. He says that her name is Portia, of course. Indeed, the whole world is aware of her worth. She is so precious, she is a good lady. So the whole world knows about her. Everyone knows. And for famous suitors are sailing towards her from every coast. So in order to get married to her, many suitors are sailing from every corner of the earth towards Belmont as suitors. Renowned suitors and her sunny locks hang on her temples like a golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont Colchis Strand, and many jacinths come in quest of her. Here, of course, in the previous part we already saw that many suitors are coming to marry her. And her sunny locks hang upon her temple like a golden fleece, means on her face the curly hair hangs on her forehead like the golden fleece. So that's what it is describing about her beauty, which makes her seat of Belmont Colchis Strand. So that beauty of her, that curly hair on the face and her beautiful look and her worth, everything makes her the seat of Belmont, means the main person of Belmont Colchis Strand, and many jacinths come in quest of her. Here this reference is that it is a mythology story where in the land of Colchis, in a particular tree, this golden fleece is okay, for example, it is fleece is the wool that is strayed from the sheep, and golden fleece is a very precious thing, and this particular golden fleece was hanged on an oak tree by a local king, and nobody could fetch that golden fleece, and because this golden fleece was guarded by a dragon, and many people tried, but nobody could But at the end, this Jason was the person who was able to fight with the dragon, kill the dragon, and get the golden fleece, and who hanged it on his neck. That is the story behind this cultures and Jasons. So now here this comparison is given here, like many people tried to get this golden fleece, but nobody could. At the end, only Jason could find it. In the same way, this particular Portia is a beautiful lady who is here with all the virtues and good things, and many suitors are trying to get married to her, but nobody is trying so far. And I also want to try. I also want to try like I also want to become like Jason in order to try my luck. That's what he means here. Oh my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate. So he says that, oh my Antonio, if only I had money to compete with all these suitors who are coming from all the four corners of the earth, I should compete with them. My instincts tell me that I should surely be the winner. I feel that I could become really the winner, but if only I am able to go there to compete with all these suitors. That's what he is telling. Now Antonio understood what was the purpose. What does Bassanio wants? He understood. Now to that Antonio replies, "Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea." He says, telling that, and Bassanio, you know that all my money is invested on my ships at the sea. Neither have I money, no commodity to raise a present sum. He's telling, in my hand I neither have cash, nor do I have any things to keep us, anything in my hand to raise some money. I don't have anything at present. Therefore, go forth, try, what my credit can do in Venice do. That shall be racked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont to fair Portia. He is telling, but go out and see what my credit can do in Venice. Just search, keep me as credit and search for some money. Let us find out, is there any use? It shall be stretched out to the uttermost limit to enable you to go to Belmont. Any amount, to any condition, I am ready to give you, to any uttermost possible ways. I am ready to help you, and surely I will enable you to go to Belmont and to meet Portia. Go presently inquire, go and find out immediately, and so I will, and I also will go and inquire where we can get some money, where the money is, and I no question make to have it of my trust or for my sake. Okay, so and I have no doubt that I shall have it. Surely I may get some money in Venice, and in either in my account, you can take in my name, or take the money in my business, on my business credit, or against my own personal surety. My sake means personal surety. I will give my own personal surety and help you to get some money. That's what he says. So after this, both of them leave and in search of money from any money lenders in Venice. That's all. Here we come to conclude with the scene 1. Act 1, scene 1 gets completed here. They exit to search for the money. In my previous class, I had given you 2 questions. Here 2 more questions I give you. Here the extract, question number 3, Salarino's extract, and the questions that follows here. And question number 4, here is the extract and the questions here. So kindly go through these questions and search answer and write it in your own words, what you understand from this, and learn it. Thank you. Have a nice day.